Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick trade review of the trades. It's Thursday today. Feeling a little bit under the weather and I'm not really trading a lot, so I thought I'd make a video today about the trades that I've been taking this week and just kind of go through them and show you guys some of the trades. So here we go, without further ado. Okay, so we're just going to talk penny stock trades that I've been focusing on this week. And we'll start off today with ZCMD. And what you see here is when you see a tick on the left-hand side, the platform puts that in, and that's a short. And when you see a tick on the right side, that is where I take the trade off. So if it's the opposite, you see the opposite. So in this particular case, you can see early, I got into this trade very early pre-market. Pre-market, the daily chart was really weak, and you know, I just leaned against the big seller there, and when it started to reject in the pre-market, this is, you can see where I initially got in, and then when it opened up, I added to my trade at that position. I added again, and I took off. I then added again and took off again, but I really could have soaked a lot more out of that. But again, like I said, I'm not feeling that wonderful today, and I just really wanted to, when you're not feeling well, one of the worst things you can do is trade. And so I just really wanted to, you know, lock in a winner, and that was really the only trade that I took today. And then we'll look at some other days here. Okay, so here's yesterday, and for some reason it's not showing my trades from yesterday. I guess it only shows them on the day that you take them. So I'll just go through and I'll show you guys the trade. So WISA, I was short at 308 and 314 is my two shorts. So 308 was right here, and 314 was I top tick that. That's a thing of beauty. Now WISA, I was actually short early 308, and I added to my trade at 314. Now I did not think this was going to react very well, but if you go to the day before on WISA, it was really one of the most active stocks on the day, and it did a ton of volume the day before and really was kind of back and forth. So I covered WISA on this breakdown, and I just got out. I could have held this a little bit longer. So WISA was yesterday. Also yesterday I had FUBO, F-U-B-O. Now this one is going to make me look like an idiot, but it is what it is. I liked FUBO short. Based on the daily chart, it looked like it had a lot of potential, but it started to get really crowded. And then what I found out about FUBO was it still had a 12% open short interest on it, and I was like, that's a bit too high for me. Now 12% is not massive, but it was just too much, and it shook me out. So I was short FUBO from 1929, which is right about there, and I covered at 1880. Well, it's a small loss. So I'm going to show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now you can see here should have held that trade because it did crack all day long, and that would have been a really big winner. But you know, I'm not going to lie, I'm the most transparent educator out there, and I tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So next was, now this one was my favorite trade. I got to tell you why. Pay attention because you're going to learn a lot here. So PSHG. Okay, now for some of you might know about chat room pumps. If you don't know what a chat room pump is, there's several educators out there that I call fraudsters that run these chat rooms, and what they do is they get into these trades, and then they tell their subscribers about the trade after they get into them. And these trades set up for some of the most amazing trades because they're pump and dumps. And this was a chat room pump pretty early, and I won't mention any names, but Warrior Trading comes to mind. And they were chat room pumping this. Now, um, they might have even made money, right? They might have even made money because they were chat room pumping it, and the stock went all the way to 880. Now, but I know if you're going to have that many bag holders in it, if it doesn't have the follow through, then there's going to be a massive flush, and that's exactly what happened. Now, I did not catch this big move down. I wish I could tell you I caught the big move down, but I didn't. So what happened was, what you see here is another retail trader pattern that they love to trade, and they were chat room pumping it again, and they were calling for a breakout back to 10 on PSHG. Now, how do I know that? Well, I subscribe to a couple of news services, and I actually use Benzinga. I don't know if you know what Benzinga is, but if you don't use Benzinga, you should use Benzinga. And here's Benzinga, and you can see they've got their own chat room in here, but it's different. So I was very aware of the fact that there was a chat room pump on PSHG. By the way, if you want to use Benzinga, it's one of the greatest resources ever as far as getting information, especially on these penny stocks. I'll leave a link in the description. So what happened was this, what they call a midday ramp, or the cup and handle pattern, which, you know, if you go with Timothy Sykes, he'll teach you this for $1,000. Meanwhile, it's been around for fucking ever. Another rip-off scam artist. And so all these chat rooms, they just regurgitate all these patterns that I pretty much invented most of these patterns, you know, like 20 years ago, and they're all reinventing these patterns that have been around forever. But anyways, these patterns are great traps. So what happened was, I knew this was a chat room pump. I knew they were ramping it again to take it higher in the afternoon, and that is where I shorted. So I shorted a little early, 6:45, and then you can just see what happens here. Watch what happens to liquidity. It just gets flushed out, like boom. I was in a little early, around 6:30. It hit 6:45, and then boom, it just smashed, and I rode that all the way down. I'm actually thinking about doing my own trading room called the Anti-Guru Trade Room, where what we'll do is we'll actually take advantage. We'll have moles in all the various chat rooms around the planet with these penny stocks, and then what we'll do is we'll take advantage of them, because what happens is these chat room pumpers, they front run all of their people. That's how they make their money. Then they show these big P&L statements, and then really 90% of their money is made by front running, not by actually trading. So anyway, there you have it. This was a great trade. Absolutely love this trade. My students will understand why this was such a great trade at liquidity and value. And if you want to learn how I do this, head on over to my website, stevepattersontrading.com. Click on my services. I got a limited time offer right now with a $500 course that I'm going to be taking down soon. But that's pretty much the last couple of days trading. I don't want this video to go longer than 8-9 minutes. It's already long enough. So I'm just going to cut it off there and say bid you adieu, and I wish you well. Head on over to Steve Patterson Trading if you want to learn how to trade like this from somebody that's actually been in the business for 45 years and knows what they're talking about. All right, thank you. Bye for now.